Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going handheld for this one, mostly because I don't feel like moving my main camera setup or everything, so this is just on my phone. Today's video is going to be just sort of me sharing something that I wanted to share about like the way that I sort my cards for standard format when I want to build decks so that things are easy to find. And I also want to kind of know, what you do. Like, how do you sort your cards? This is something that, organization stuff is kind of interesting to me. And I'm actually starting to learn other games like Dragon Ball Super. And I'm like, there's not really any good videos about organizing cards. And sometimes it can be daunting. You start in a game, you get a bunch of cards, and you're like, how the heck am I going to sort this? So I wanted to show you how I sort all of my cards so that I can understand where to find things very easily, and when I build decks, I can think of them in that way. But yeah, without further ado, I'll just sort of show you around. Yeah, this is sort of my table that I play all my games at. I'm lucky enough to have a room. This is where I film. And that is Goku. Goku, say hello. He's taking a bath. And yeah, you can kind of see some of the decks that I'm working on. No leaks. I mean, nothing there is really that surprising. But yeah, we'll get over to the binders. So as you can see, I have a whole range of binders and then other things. These are like where I keep all my sleeves. I have them sorted by color, some deck boxes. All my proxies are in one of those boxes. And then these are actually empty right now because no events, no physical events. But yeah, in terms of all of these, I used to only have the plastic ones here. But I've been playing now for a year, and so I've collected a decent number of cards, some of which are rotating now as the sets rotate. And so I don't want to have them mixed up. Like when I go look through my deck, when I want to build a standard deck, I don't want to be looking at cards that are expanded and not realize it. So I just went through the process of sorting all the newly rotated cards out and putting them in my old binders. And then all these binders, this was always a nice binder that I had. And these are, and this little one back here, are all the binders that I'm using for standard format. So I'm gonna quickly grab these binders, put them down, and then sort of take you through how I sort them. That catch though. All right, that's a lot of binders. And if you're wondering what kind of binders these are actually via Dex protection. I would not say that they are the best binders. I actually think the Ultimate Guard one that I have down at the bottom is my favorite binder for storing cards because it is still the same. It's like a little bit firmer. It's a little bit, they're all equal hardness, but this one has a zipper. I like a zipper. I think Dex also does zippers, but if you want a nice binder that isn't plastic, that you want to save a little money on, which is why I got these. These are like 25 or 28 bucks each for these really big 12 slot ones. So I really like having 4 across. Here, I'll just show you. So let's go ahead and start off with this first binder. This first binder is I sort all of my ultra rares, if you will, and higher cards. So anything that's a GX, tag teams, Vs, VMAXs, any of that level of rarity, basically anything that's worth more than 1 prize, right? Any non-1 prizers go into this binder. And I really like, for the most part, having all of my binders be 4x3, or at least 4 across, right? Like I don't think anybody makes a 16-row binder, but so these 4 across ones I like because they easily tell you if you have a play set of something. So that's why I like 4 across binders. That's for me personally. They're always a little bit more expensive, but it's my preference. So I'll show you this binder. So yeah, I basically have all of them sorted. I keep my rarest ones, my highest rarities basically, or full arts on the far left, and then they just kind of go back to regulars. And then yeah, I just sort of sort them all by the individual card just to see how many of everything that I have, and so on and so forth. I mean, I think there might be one page in here that's a Hodgepodge page. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, this page. This page is the Hodgepodge because it's a bunch of things that I have one of because, you know, I, for the most part, only need one of them in a deck. Yeah. But I sort them by this way. And I also, with the Vs and Vmaxes, I like to have the Vs be right above the Vmaxes. If I were to ever need space, maybe I would do 2s to 2-2 right there to save a row. But that's the first thing I do. I have all my Vs and GXs and Vmaxes in one binder. Now, let's get into the next one, which is, okay, well, where do I put all of the other Pokemon and how do I sort them? Now, it's important to note I did not sort the GXs by any other, you know, mechanic. They're just all there. You could sort them by set or typing, but that seems like extra work and there's not that many of them, so. But for the regular Pokemon, I do exactly that. I sort everything by typing, so fire, water, etc. And basically all of these one prizers, I don't necessarily put every rare card that I get into this. I mostly put everything that I think is useful or could be useful in the future. So let me just show you how that looks. So you can kind of see here, you have all the fire types, and I try to, if I have them, just put full evolution lines. And if I have lots of something like Cinderace and I have like promos, I don't want to just throw them out, I'll double up. But usually I keep four cards, 4 cards, 4 cards, 4 cards. That way each sleeve has a playset, a playset, a playset. And then over time what I do is, you know, all of these on top you can see are, like a lot of them, are reverse hollows. But underneath they may not be. So like this Raboot, there's a regular there. What I do is if I pull more reverses, I go in, I take the regular out, I put the reverse hollow in, and then yeah, we're good to go. So yeah, I put the lines, focus on reverse hollows for play. And yeah, we just go through everything there. And I leave a little extra space. I leave that extra space because, you know, obviously more sets will come out with more fire Pokemon that might be playable. So having that extra space is really useful. And what you can see is I just have water. We go through grass, psychic, lightning. I mean, you get it, right? Like it goes through every typing, including colorless. You have colorless. There's no rhyme or reason as to the order. It's just the order that I put them in. If something makes sense to you, that's great. And like I said, not everything has to be a rare to be in here. Sometimes there are non-rare Pokemon like uncommons that are good that I want to keep in there. But yeah, whatever I think is playable, I keep in this binder. And then if I have to go buy something later, I buy it and then I put it in the binder afterwards. So I don't stress too much about making sure I perfectly guess every potential playable or putting like 4 of every card from every set in. That would just be too much. I don't think you could do that with binders. You'd spend so much money on the binders, you would just save the money on buying the cards when you need them, right? So that is the second thing that I do of sorting these cards, is I then sort by single prizers, including Prism Stars, which I think there's only really Tapu Koko Prism that's gonna still be in format. But yeah, now we can get to some of the other cards. We'll get to the items. So I have a whole separate binder just for items. Yeah, it's just item cards, not supporters, not stadiums, none of that, just items. So, as you can see here, similar situation. I have 4 ofs, I have all my items. And in terms of the numbers here, I keep whole rows for items so that I can see when I have a play set. But if I have more than 4, I'll just sort of stack them. And I'm personally stopping at between 8 and 12 of any given card. Sometimes I might have more than that. Like if it's a quick ball for instance, super playable, it's going to be put in a lot of decks. So like I might go all the way up to like 20 or more quick balls before I start putting them into like bulk or something. So, but yeah. So then I have my quick balls, and again, I keep my rarest ones on the far left, and I usually stack them. So I have 4 of these gold quick balls. Weird flex, but okay. But yeah. So yeah, we just go through there, and then that's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, bunch of items. And then, you know, there's room at the back for new sets to come out. So thus far we've covered GX, like ultra rare cards is in one binder, single prize Pokemon basically, non-ultra rares are in another, item cards, and then we have 2 more binders left. So I'll do the small one. I bought the small one because I just wanted it right away, and also I don't think this binder needs as much space. Normally I would actually like to, because I don't like seeing all of these 4 across and then have 1 3 across, but whatever. I got this one for stadiums. So I put stadiums in the front, and so I just sort of stacked them. I have about 12 each. Same schematic mechanic of like the way that I sort rarities. And then at the back, I've actually put all of the energies. So if I have any reverse hollow energies, I'll put them at the back. And I have room for other reverse hollow energies that would make up all the energies, which I think is 9 total energies. And then after the basics, then I get into the special energies, 1 row for each of those, all the way up. And then, so I'm splitting my stadium binder between stadiums in the front, special energies in the back, and both of them work their way to the middle. I don't ever believe that this binder will be full, which is why it felt okay to get a smaller binder for that, because they only release a few stadiums in every given set. They only release a few special energies in every given set. So, you know, by the time the next rotation comes, odds are those special energies in some stadiums will rotate and it'll thin itself back out. So, this one felt good. So then that brings me to the last classification, which are the supporter cards. Now there are lots of supporters, and I like to have a play set of everything that I pull, basically, just because you never know what supporter you might put into a deck randomly in the future. So for this, exact same thinking. You start with the far left and, you know, max rarity. You go across, and this, I owned this binder before I did all the resorting, before I bought these others. And instead of just moving all of my supporters up, because I made space after taking them out, I just left blank rows. So there's like random blank pages in the middle that I know will get filled out when new sets come out. But yeah, that is how I sort things. And I have the exact same sorting schematic, if you will, for the old binders that I have. And in there, I put everything that rotated. So that's my like expanded set. There's not much in there. I don't have that much in expanded. So it's basically the extras. And that's basically it. That's how I'm sorting my cards. Let me know how you sort your cards. I would be interested to hear about that because, everybody probably has a different method. I know this is kind of an expensive way to do it because, you know, you're buying all of these binders. So, but for long term, I do think I find it to be very helpful. If I'm like, okay, I'm going to build a deck. Okay, what are the main Pokemon? Boom. What are my basic Pokemon? Boom. What are the supporters? And so you can think about building your deck based on those categorizations of cards. And it's just then easy to like see everything available to you, and you might have ideas that you didn't have before. Maybe this is a super obvious video to everybody, but I figured I'd put it out there for anybody who's wondering how to organize their cards. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch y'all in a future episode. Carpe awesome.